Alaska can come too. All right, we're back. And
All right, I know you. That's fixed.
with a proper title. Sorry about that, everybody.
We're not reviewing that bullshit ass movie again.
Dude. Fucking Morgan, man.
My lord.
But yeah, all right. So we are reviewing the Black Phone 2. It's going to start right now. I have some stats. I actually do have stats, but hold on. I need the fucking IMDb. Dive a little deeper. King of Thieves. No, get the fuck out of here.
Don't worry.
This is what happens when you're prepared, ladies and gents.
Hey.
All right, I have everything I need now. Ready?
Let's do it.
Perfect. The Black Phone 2, directed by Scott Derrickson, written by C. Robert Cargill, Scott Derrickson, and Joe Hill. Stars Mason Thames, Ethan Hawke, and Madeline McGraw. This movie has a budget of $30 million, and on its opening weekend, opened to $42 million. Right now sits at $161 million globally. Like I said, it's Ethan Hawke returning as the Grabber, Mason Thames returning as Finn, and Madeline McGraw returning as Gwen. Thank you, Spider-Man.
You're welcome.
Yeah, dude, where do you want to start? Because you sent me a very emphatic text. I feel like we're kind of aligned, but I'm gonna let you lead off.
All right. Well, if anything, so let me start with a little backstory about my relationship with the Black Phone movies, because it only like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, I finally watched the Black Phone 1.
This is wild to me, by the way, because I wanna make a point right now. When the first one came out, I think I'm the only one that like was very adamant about seeing it, and I wanted to do this for the show. We did it. It is what it is. But like, I wanted you guys to watch this last August or whatever it came out, 2022, whenever it came out. 2021. I really wanted you guys to watch it. I'm glad it's happening now. We'll do that one later, but just briefly, how'd you feel about it?
I liked it. I
Okay.
thought the Black Phone was good. After all you told me many times, one of the reasons I never got around, I think, because it wasn't on anything for a good minute. At least
Yeah.
I don't think. And if it was, I just didn't end up catching it. But now that Black Phone 2 was coming out, I was like, okay, hang on. I want to watch this first one because I have told Luke I would. And then I finally did one night when Raven was over and we watched it together. Well, she actually already saw it, but I hadn't. So I thought it was good. It was a good movie. Ethan Hawke as the Grabber was great. I love Mason Thames and Madeline as Finney and Gwen. Jeremy, is this Davies? Davies as their dad was quite a character as well, as honestly. James Ransom in the film as well. Like, it was good.
That's old Eddie, right?
Yeah, that is old Eddie. That is also Deputy So-and-so from the Sinister movies, also made by Scott Derrickson, and one of them starring Ethan Hawke. So it's all relationship, everything like that. I thought it was really good. I like the aspects of the supernatural elements of how to find the Grabber and how Gwen would find her brother, while also how the previous victims of the Grabber would help Finney in his predicament. So I thought the Black Phone 1 was a good movie. I would say I give it maybe either a 7.5 out of 10 or a solid 8. And I think I'm leaning towards 8 right now.
Okay.
Now, Black Phone 2. Luke, I loved this movie. I actually loved it. I don't know how you'll feel about this statement. I think I like it more than the first one, but I have a reason why.
Okay.
Because, listen, okay, so let's start with the premise real quick, right? So it's been 4 years since the events of the first one. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it by now, that's too bad. Finney killed the Grabber by the end of the first movie. The Grabber is dead. His reign of terror was over, and all of his victims were put to rest. They found peace, yada, yada, all that stuff right now. It's been 4 years, and things are getting weird because Gwen is starting to have some more dreams about somewhere else involving some dead kids where she wants to go investigate, especially when it might tie into their late mother. But while there, looks like the Grabber is calling from hell. He wants vengeance on Finney for what has happened to him, and he is going to target Gwen and him, actually, if I'm being real. So now he comes to a point of how do you stop the Grabber in ghost form?
Yeah.
So that is the basic premise of the sequel.
And seeing Mason and Madeline come back, like, I mean, they fit very well into these roles. It was nice to see the shift, because this whole movie is a complete like shift from the first one. First one's very much like a thriller with supernatural elements. This movie, like, I'm not spoiling anything by saying this. It's a Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Yep, everyone says it. Everyone says it. You're not wrong, but I will talk about that though.
No, I can't not say it, but at the same time, I watched somebody do a review, and they even said in the review like Freddy Krueger doesn't have like the rights or all the carte blanche to this type of premise. Like other people can do it. It's just that it's very closely associated with Freddy because like the character and the way Robert Englund plays him, and then there's like what 12 sequels, 12 movies. Um, so it makes sense. However, other movies can do it. I feel like if it's done well, this very much is done well. Um, and it was great to see the tonal shift because this isn't Finn's movie, it's Gwen's movie, and that was kind of cool.
Yes, I actually like that a lot too. But I do like that Finn doesn't just fall into the background. He still has a point in this. Like he's still a driving factor of why things are happening. Honestly,
there's a couple things that kind of sort of irk me, but I'll wait to get to those about that.
There's one thing in particular that irks me, and it just makes me mad at a lot of the main characters. That's not Gwen.
Yeah.
But I'll get to that as well.
Yes.
So,
likes.
Yeah. So first thing I want to talk about actually is the growth of the family of Finney, Gwen, and Terrence, the dad. Actually, I actually do like seeing that they have all grown in either negative or even positive ways. Actually, like Terrence in the first film is an alcoholic who beats his kids for just making too much noise. Actually, or even talking to the police about Gwen's dreams regarding seeing the kidnapped victims and the grabber and everything like that. But by the end of it, he breaks down and is like begging for forgiveness, which I interpret as they've probably seen and done this before and everything like that. But it is actually nice to see that he is going through a redemption where he actually genuinely is, I'm not even going to say trying, is better. Like he's better. Like he doesn't drink anymore and he's trying to be a good dad towards his kids, but there's still a lot of resentment towards what they've been through, which completely understandable, but still.
Yeah, he's still got some work to do.
Yeah, he's still got work to do, but I would definitely say he's on a very good right path right now.
Yeah, and Jeremy Davies is a phenomenal actor.
I kept seeing that name. I was like, I know you from something else. He's fucking Balder in God of War 2018.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's Balder.
That's
I was trying
cool.
to figure. And I'm like, oh my god, I look at his face. I see him. I see it.
I'm pretty sure he's got some hardware too. I don't know exactly what for, or I could be full of shit, but like he's been in some phenomenal TV shows. I mean, like the first time I saw him was in Saving Private Ryan. He's great in that. Like, he's a great actor.
Yeah, I think he's also in Lost as well. I believe.
I think he is as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm blanking on his name right now. Mason Thames as Finney is great in this one, just as he was the first film. I actually do like the change he goes through. That he, despite surviving and despite killing the grabber, that doesn't mean he's not haunted by the events of what has happened to him, to the point where he is now violent and is on a similar path as his father, rather than drinking, but he is now a stoner, trying to numb all of that down.
Yeah, he started smoking weed, and I was like, yes.
But yeah, it's like I actually like that little change, and I'm like, okay, despite your W over that murderer, that doesn't mean you're okay.
Yeah,
like, you're still.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Actually.
No, I was just gonna give some love to Damien Beicher. I know I'm not pronouncing that right, but this man, like especially in the horror zone, and like he's Walter Simmons in Godzilla vs Kong. I love him. He's awesome. Whenever he shows up in anything, I'm like, all right, this man's gonna make the most of whatever he's given. And there's some lines that he has to say, and I'm like, oh, he's really going for it. But like, God, that kind of sucked.
I loved his character in this too. I loved his little arc, his story that goes on of why this whole thing means so much to him as well.
Listen, I'm not. That was cool, and I'm not trying to sidetrack or anything. But I'm looking at his IMDb. I forgot one thing that he was in. Can you guess it? We hate it. We hate it.
The Little Things?
Nope. The other one.
Wait, hold on. What else do we hate? Screamboat, Little Things. I love Chaos Walking.
Oh, yeah, no, it's that one.
It's Chaos Walking.
It's Chaos Walking. Yeah, he's in it.
One fact, I actually don't hate love it. It's just fun to bring up.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Yep, well, so did everybody else. Yeah, he's also really I the Nun movies. I'm not sidetracking, but the Nun movies, he's my favorite part because he's like,
oh right,
yeah.
Wait, he was wow,
he's a priest. Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh my goodness, wait a minute, He's in Machete Kills.
Yeah, he needs more love. He's very good, like you were saying. He's playing an ex-convict. He's got the camp still going that this movie the majority of it takes place in. And he's got his character's very solid reason and like connections to everything that's going on. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was really good in this film. Hold on, Madeline McGraw as Gwen. Hardcore, one of the biggest standouts of this film. Actually, her performance in this is phenomenal. If you ask me, like she really brought it, and I like the arc she's going through, especially with her brother and her new boyfriend. Which shout out to fucking Miguel Mora as Ernesto, who was the brother of one of the characters from the first film, who was unfortunately killed by Mr. Grabber.
Yeah, Ernesto was sick.
No, I liked him. He was a good dude. He's a good dude for Gwen. He's a good dude for Gwen. I know that Finney and Terrence were like, I don't know about this boy, but I was looking at him like, nah, he makes her feel safe. He's a good guy.
It was nice to see not useless characters. There's a couple useless characters in this movie, but for the most part, the extended cast is pretty good, and they do serve a purpose. It was nice to see.
Yep.
Everybody gets
of course. But like, come on now, we got to talk about the actual standout of this goddamn movie, motherfucking Ethan Hawke as the goddamn Grabber, man. Come on. Look, I liked the Grabber a lot in the first film, but this one, I loved him in this movie. I loved Ghost Grabber.
Yeah, Ghost Grabber is pretty sick. I'm not spoiling anything by saying I don't know what the plans are, if there's like a future of this film, like if there's going to be a 3, if it turns into a franchise. All right,
let's talk about that later because I have one idea.
Yeah,
it's actually kind of a genuine question I have in regards to Grabber.
I'm just saying, like if we do this, like Ethan Hawke playing this character would be sick. I'm on board.
I was gonna say, but yeah, Ethan Hawke as the dead Grabber is amazing in this. I love the scene of Finney talking to him, and I love just the visual representation that he's standing outside the payphone face to face, but actually not being able to be seen by Finney.
The effects in this movie are great.
They really are. The fact that they go like Super 8 or 16 millimeter grainy whenever Gwen is in a dream sequence actually is quite eerie. It reminds me a lot of the Sinister moments.
So, all right, I agree with everything that you're saying. So I'm just gonna bounce off just slightly on negative, just a minute, and then you can continue. Because I love the Super 8s. However, they went a little too long, and it was really starting to. I mean, I get it, Scott Derrickson's fucking style, but like, and those moments, it was feeling more like a Sinister movie to me. You know what I mean? Because Gwen's doing a lot of walking around in 8 millimeter, and I'm like, this literally is what Sinister is. But Ethan Hawke's Grabber is cooler than Magoo. Like, hands down. Hands down. Absolutely. So, I was just after a certain point, like once it got to like. And I could be over exaggerating. Once it got to like Super 8 scene like 5 or 6, I was like, okay, now it just feels like my man is just showing that he's grown a little bit from the Sinister stuff, because they're very atmospheric, they're very moody, they're very effective, but like especially with the music and stuff, and Gwen just kind of, like I said, she mostly just kind of walks around, following the Ghost Kids too. Like, it's fucking Sinister.
I'm not mad at it. I'm really not actually. Because if you're gonna see, it's Scott Derrickson's work, so I guess it's a stylized choice. It's like his calling card.
Yeah.
With J.J. Abrams with lens flare, it's like you're gonna see lens flare in J.J. Abrams movie.
I'll put it this way, and I guess it's just because of the problems that I do have with Sinister, that if I had seen this first, I would have appreciated it more.
Okay. I don't mind it at all because I do like that the film is always going to make it clear when someone is dreaming and when they're in dream perspective, actually.
Yeah.
Rather than, because I like, Luke, I know you. I like to imagine if they didn't, there will be some points where you will be confused or mad that you weren't sure when something was a dream and when something wasn't.
I mean, maybe, because like not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, not to do this, but Nightmare on Elm Street doesn't do that, and you can tell. It's like you do eventually pick up on it. I don't have to know right off the bat. Like, there's usually something that'll show me, and I'll be like, oh, they're dreaming.
Yeah, I don't mind the constant use of it just to establish when somebody's in a dream. I don't mind. I like it, actually.
I do like it. It's just how I felt, how it started to feel to me, and I felt like there was a little too much because to me it started to feel like padding. That's all.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, but I was gonna say. Also, I want to talk about is it the grabber's design in this film, despite being quote like similar, samey, is still different enough that like I like him more when he's dead.
Oh yeah, well the fucking scene where he's talking to Gwen and like the top half's off and you can see the
Mm-hmm.
damage, that was cool. When he does, it's in the trailer. When he does
Yeah.
actually take off the mask and you see what his face looks like, it looks cool. Like he looks awesome, man. The frost on
When
the
he
mask.
the frost, when he takes the bottom half and you can like see the teeth and everything like that, which is
Yeah,
also in the
man.
trailer, like it looks awesome.
The first time he shows up in the first one with that mask on, I was like, oh, okay, that looks sweet. This, the first time he shows up, it's like, oh, like it made it better. It did make it better.
Yes, I like the decayed grabber look.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a
Yep.
very good look, and like you said, Ethan Hawke is, I don't know, very good at doing this.
I also got to say too that I actually do like the quote unquote. Oh wait, let me talk about because surprisingly, as much as I like every scene with the grabber from him and Gwen talking,
Mhm.
or him and Finney talking on the phone, my actual favorite thing, and this is my love for supernatural stuff, when Damien is on the radio talking to him, and then outside like the snow is making the grabber face. I loved that.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool, and that's like what I'm saying with some of the 8 millimeters. Like we could have taken one of those out and like had that more of that. That was cool. And then I'm sitting there watching it, and it's like, okay, well now how are we gonna off this character? Because that felt like where it was going. I'm glad they didn't do it because the visual was sweet. But yeah, that was a great scene. I agree with you. That was a very very good scene.
Yes, I love that a lot, honestly.
Sorry, I rambled.
Now, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. And of course, you have the mystery of why they're even there. Because are we gonna dive into spoilers, or are we gonna keep it kind of bare?
How long's it been out?
This came out October. Oh, this is
It
only
came out last weekend, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We can hold up,
Keep
hold
it
up.
keep it light. I'm sure you can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can touch on stuff.
Okay, so the mystery of why they're even there is like
It's in the trailer.
yeah, okay, yeah, because there are other dead kids, which I'm gonna be real, makes sense. Like when you really think about it, like I like to imagine he probably had other victims other than who he abducted around the Denver area, and tracing it back to that camp, which actually kind of serves as a bit of an origin, not exactly an origin, but a little bit more look into his backstory, which not a deep look. It doesn't like over explain the killer. Just like, oh no, you get another little piece of the grabber actually.
Yeah.
And this time the movie actually goes into what he did to the damn kids, and I was like, woo! See, the first one implied with the scars of the ghost kids, but this time you actually like know, oh damn, they got it rough.
We got a bigger budget.
Yeah, they did.
I appreciate that because if I can get, I don't always need a why, but a where is cool, and that's what this is. I don't get the why, I get the where. Like awesome, that's cool.
It keeps the mystery of the grabber is a little bit more fun, and it kind of gives you your own little ideas of why he does what he does.
Yeah, well, I don't always need all that fucking backstory because I mean, I don't want to feel any kind of sympathy towards the bad guy. You know what I mean? I don't always need that, especially in something like this. Like this is a fictional character that kills kids. Like, why do I need to know why? I don't need to know if you had a bad childhood or shit. Like, you're killing kids. That's all I need to know.
That was my theory. Like, you just had a bad childhood and it surfaces like this.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. But sometimes they get a little. They explain too much, and it takes away the mystique. And especially if they're gonna go with this supernatural aspect of it, like I extra don't need it. Let him be supernatural. That's scary. You start humanizing him, and all right, now he's not scary.
One of the most interesting lines he has is kind of like really quick is because the first film establishes the longer you're dead, you start to kind of forget who you are and where you came from and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the little line that the grabber throws in when he talks to Finney, saying, "It took me a while, but I remember now," which definitely, more can be at play and how the afterlife can work for some people, actually.
Yeah, that's something that does intrigue me because the source of his power that they have, I don't know how much I jive with that. because there's a scene in the movie where Gwen uses like dream powers, right? Like really uses them. And in that scene, like she's a fucking animal, right? Like she's a beast. But when it ended, I'm like, well, why doesn't this end right here, right? Is it like a power struggle or anything? That wasn't really all that explained to me. Like the how I'm trying to think of how to put this. That line that he says is really good, but I would have liked to have dug into that a little bit more. I guess is what I'm getting at, because when it comes into later, they haven't done anything at that point to really take away his power. So for him to kind of get punked out the way that he does, and for the movie not to really end there, and I think later they kind of make it seem like he's all powerful again. It didn't jive. I didn't like it.
Okay. There are some questions I have because I guess I'll say this now because you talked about there is like, hang on, let me read it again.
That was without trying to spoil shit, by the way. I hope I did a good job.
Yeah. Like Derrickson and Hawk have expressed interest in a third film, but that's not necessarily confirming anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do, I guess the one question I have that you could go into the Grabber without, unveiling the mystery of why he does what he does, which we don't need to know, is because the third film does establish that, he does hear that phone ring.
Yeah.
He just kind of ignores it and chooses not to, which screams,
Finn?
Hey, wait a minute. Like, people who hear... Wait, are you frozen? Oh, thank God.
No.
Okay.
You're talking about Finn, though, right?
I'm talking about Grabber.
Oh,
Grabber.
Okay.
Grabber, they state that, he hears it. He just kind of ignores it. Pretends
Oh, in the first one.
Yes, in the first one.
Yes.
Like, because we've seen, like, Finn and Gwen answer that phone because, I like to imagine they're tapped into the psychicness. Like, Gwen more so, but Finn is still, like, a part of that family, so it would make sense why he'd hear it.
Well, he's fighting it, right? That's what the weed's for.
That too, but I'm going off the first film as well. Going off what we learned in this movie and going off the first film that, like, he was answering the Ghost Kids' phones,
yes.
Calls, right?
Yes.
Like, wait. Like, there's a reason these two would hear it, but, like, Grabber, like, you hear it too. So I'm like, do you got some that in your bloodline too? Maybe. Like, that's the one thing I'm like kind of like interested if they do a third one. Not a backstory, but I mean, you could dive into some of the supernatural elements too, like how the Grabber worked in ways too.
Sure. I mean, it's kind of implied too, right? Because their mom is said in the first one and this one, like, she had fucking sight and shit, and it drove her crazy, right? But things in this movie explain a little different. But perhaps the Grabber is one of those ones where it did actually drive him crazy.
That is true. That could be looked at that way.
As some people can handle it, some people can't.
Perhaps so. And then the Grabber just took it really wrongly.
Correct.
Because when you think about it too, like Max in the first one, who turned out to be the Grabber's brother, was a druggie, but he wasn't a serial killer.
No, and he was a very insightful dude and could put shit together. You know what I mean?
So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe the fact that he had visions and stuff like that drove him completely crazy as well.
Possible. But to stay on that subject, though, I do like the fact that the trauma and everything, like, Finn is going out of his way to not be a part of it anymore. He's definitely trying to move on with his life, and he does answer the phone, but it's not to be helpful, right? Like, he's over it.
He's just saying, I can't help you. Go away.
Done for.
Kind of funny, but still.
Yeah. Gwen, on the other hand, is like, I don't know if you've ever seen Stir of Echoes. Highly underrated. But there's a scene in there. It's basically it's along the same lines. Man explains basically what it's like to be a psychic, and he goes like, your son, which would be Gwen in this instance, has a big bright flashlight, and it illuminates everything, but it also attracts shit. And then there's like a husband character, which would be Finn. It's like a smaller flashlight.
I got you. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about the one part that made me mad, not because it's like a criticism toward the film, like when Grabber first attacks Gwen in her nightmare, and like the crew, except for Finney, sees her floating around getting beaten the fuck up and like thrown in the oven, like, do something.
Oh yeah, they do nothing. They literally do nothing. Okay, all right. I'm glad we finally got here because the Christian fucking couple, the counselors, first of all, I don't understand why this movie was made in the first place. I do enjoy it, but as far as sequels are concerned, like, I don't really need this. Like, it doesn't, It's
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. But then it throws in bullshit like these two Christian characters that are just there to be Bible thumpers, and they're just so one note and annoying, especially the wife.
Yes.
And then in that moment when everything that you're saying can happen is in front of your face is happening, and yeah, they don't do a fucking thing. I'm over useless characters.
I think the only reason I'm not mad at that because oh god, like I might step on some toes. I'm sorry, but some Bible fuckers like that just like need to get put in their place a little bit.
Sure.
So when they got hurt later, I was actually happy.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well, they fucking
for
get it.
sure, like yeah, they're coming. But I will say this off of because I was watching Jeremy John's review last night after I watched it too because a good question is like, did this movie need to happen? And I agree. No. If the Black Phone one was a one-time thing, that is fine, but they did too.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like the movie like it didn't need a sequel, but I feel like Derrickson, Hawk, and them had like and Hill had at least a genuine, solid idea of like we don't have to, but hold on, this actually not could works if you ask me because I feel like it works.
I do
like,
too.
Like if this movie did not happen, oh well. Like I'm not asking for a Black Phone sequel.
Yeah.
But the fact that it did, I'm very happy because I love this movie.
Yep.
But it's like this is one of those cases like, okay, we made a sequel and it worked out. And they didn't do samey stuff. It didn't feel like just watching the first film. It felt like it did something different, but it did something different that made sense in the world of Black Phone considering what the first film set up.
Yeah. No, I agree. And the tonal shift and it being a completely different movie, because I mean it is, helps as well. That's cool. Yeah, we're not recycling anything. We borrowed from something else clearly, but like this is totally different. I like that.
I would like to say too that calling it like, of course, people are going to consider it Nightmare on Elm Street, and like yes, Freddy isn't the only one who's allowed to do that, even though he's like the most associated with it and everything like that. But I do like to say there's enough leeway to say like dreams are a part of it, but there's also like afterlife aspects of it too that's also set up. It's like what, I don't want to give it a straight up Nightmare ripoff because let's be real, Grabber does. I mean, I want to be accountable, but I'll just keep it on it. Grabber doesn't only just attack sleeping people.
Yes.
I'm gonna be real.
No, he attacks
the comparisons is still gonna happen. So I'm not saying like no, don't call it that because like it's just gonna happen. But at the same time, like sure, it's got nightmare elements, but I wouldn't say that's like
it's just because of the association and the fucking content. It is what it is. The subject matter. What was I gonna say? Nope, I forgot. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, okay. So one of the other things I like about this film too, and like why I think I like it as much, because I actually do like that the Grabber doesn't get like resurrected or nothing like that. Like I like to establish, no, he is dead, but he is just now causing trouble in the afterlife. Ooh, I'm sorry, I keep almost burping.
You're good.
Ooh, and yawning and burping, that's such a bad combination. But anyway, I don't know. I think this concept of this movie, the idea and the concept was super cool to me, especially with the fact that the Grabber was a real person and he is dead, but now he is back, but not like IRL, like a zombie, not like he didn't actually die. No, he is a ghost who actually wants to fuck with you now.
Oh, okay.
And I fucked with that.
That's what I was going to say. I would like to think that because in the final Friday, there's 3 little sperm demons that Freddy talks to. So like, it just in general, there could always be like another dream demon or something that could do something like this, just to justify that. Yeah, Freddy's not the only one that can do this shit, right? Which is where I thought this was going when things really started to ramp up. I was thinking, and I gotta watch it again, but I'm pretty sure Gwen says something, or there's some. I interpreted something that happened early on in the movie as there's another force behind the Grabber. Like, yeah, the Grabber is back, but something brought him back. He didn't bring himself back, type of deal. And then I was watching it, and then they turned it into the thing that was the source of his power. I think there's definitely something here where we could explain it, where like there is another force behind the Grabber that's allowing him to do the things that he's doing.
That could be the case, but I will also
I like that idea.
yeah, I like the idea too. Like, although it low-key might take a little away from the grabber from me, but whatever, because they're just always gonna be a more powerful force. But I guess I just look at it this way because when we talked about earlier, like maybe the grabber has a connection to psychicness as well, but it just drove him crazy.
Yeah.
Like considering like if he might have those powers, I guess it's just to me maybe not completely out of left field if grabber can like make his quote unquote return from hell and stuff like that,
Right.
never to cause trouble. Like the source of his power, what it is still a factor of maybe why he's so powerful.
Mhm.
But the fact that he can do it in the first place. And also, I just got to bring this up too: the fact that those ghost kids in the first film were able to communicate as well too. So I think the fact that what the first film sets up does establish, like if they can do it, I could too, like theoretically.
Sure, and like we could absolutely theoretically like keep doing this too, where it's just like another look. It doesn't always have to be Finney and Gwen either, but where there's another location where he was before, and there's other shit going on, and you got to do what you do in this movie to get rid of him, and that's how he keeps coming back because there's a source in this movie that is his power. So maybe there's other sources. We're just done with this area. Could be another one.
Perhaps so. Perhaps so. That would be it. It's a unique way, but then it will become samey if you ask me. If they went that route.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing that I was going to mention I didn't like about this movie. There's really no body count. We have all these expendable characters, and nobody gets expendable. I'm not spoiling anything in that. I'm sorry. Just
that is fair, but in all honesty, I mean, arguably Black Phone 1 was kind of the same. Like, yes, we know the kids were abducted and they did die, but the only I think kill we saw actually on screen was his brother.
Right. And I agree with that more in the first one because that's that type of movie. This does feel more like a slasher, right? It to me it does, and it's got all the elements of A Nightmare on Elm Street, and like the people are there, and he can do things that don't always make a whole lot of sense and aren't to me explained very well. So it's just weird, especially since he does cause damage that there aren't really any victims.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Actually, that's a fair point. So, shoot. Anything else? Anything else you want to get into with this movie?
No, not really. I don't want to nitpick it too much because I do like it. It definitely stands on its own two legs as like its own thing. I can watch the first one and enjoy it, and I can watch this one and enjoy it. They don't like they connect because of the characters, but they're stylistically and tonally two different things. I love what they did with this. I appreciate, and I think it was a good idea to do that, much like Texas Chainsaw 1 and 2. Especially if you're like, where do we go with this direction? Like, let's do this. I like that. It's filmed great. Scott Derrickson is a very good filmmaker. It shows on the screen. Love the 8mm stuff to a point. Ethan Hawke is, I mean, everything he does now, he's phenomenal. And not that he wasn't before, but especially within like the last 10 years, my man is just killing it. And if he decides to just be a horror villain from here on out, like, I'm here for it. Mason Thames and Madeline, I'm sorry, I can't say the last name right now.
McGraw.
What is it? McGraw.
Yeah, I think so.
They're both great. I see we're on the rise. You see Mason is doing big things. I'm excited to see what comes up with Madeline and where her career goes. Everybody in the movie is really good. There's characters that I don't like. It is what it is. And yeah, it was nice to see by the time the family does come together later on in the movie, how they do reconcile some shit, how they talk to each other. Like that, there's dialogue, like I said, in this movie that I don't like, but there's also stuff like that where I'm like, that is an argument and a conversation that my family has had. Like, that's cool. I like that.
Fair enough. Also, I hope, not the worst spoiler, I suppose. Finney, you should hit up Mustang.
You should.
Go ride that Mustang.
Hilarious.
But yeah, I'm just super surprised how much I like this movie. Because I liked the first one, but I love this one. And I think the leaning into the supernatural element, especially with how, okay, I won't go super deep into it, but some of the supernatural elements of this film reminds me of how Insidious works, and I actually love that.
Yeah, and the winter setting. Wow.
Oh man, Winter Grabber, so awesome, so fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I did. 2025 has been proven that this is the year of movies that I didn't have the most expectations for, being like my favorite stuff that I've seen this year. because the movies that I love, I did not really have that much like excitement for, and the stuff that I did have excitement for, I was thoroughly disappointed with.
Well, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
I'm glad it's turned out to be a good year.
yeah, it's
Turned
not a
out.
bad year at all. And Black Phone too, like my God, I was surprised how much I goddamn like this movie.
All right, well, fucking score it then.
Well, I'm giving this a 9.
9.
I really like the fact that I texted you this before the movie even ended. I was just like, dude, I love this. I loved this. I was super invested. I was so about it. And, I ain't really like vouching for a child murderer, but the grabber is so cool.
No, yeah, what a design. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, the frost on him and everything, like that makeup department, it fucking top marks, man. I'm gonna give it a 6.5. And the half is because of just the stuff that I said. Sometimes it's a little too long to me. Whatever. I don't wanna beat on this movie too much because I do enjoy it. It is fun. And if this ends up being like, because we haven't gotten a Nightmare on Elm Street in a long time, so if this actually could be like a surrogate, like I'm in. The fucking grabber's sweet.
No, seriously, I have a concept to redo Nightmare. I do. Is it we just do the Candyman route? Freddy, he's gone, but it doesn't mean he can be the only dream demon. I've got a character. I've got sort of a design. I got a weapon for him. We're not gonna do the finger gloves because like that's to feel like this should be Freddy exclusive.
I agree.
And I got a backstory too. Like I thought of it.
Dude, get that outline down. We got a pitch.
Deal. We'll talk about it. We'll go to Hollywood. Like, hey, I know how to get Nightmare back.
Fuck yeah.
And still pay our respects to Mr. Krueger.
Dude, at one point, I don't know if they're still doing it, but at one point, the Craven Estate was taking pitches from anybody that had an idea.
Oh. I might look into that.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Well, that concludes our review for Black Phone 2.
Yeah, no, great, really good movie. Highly recommend going to check it out. And if you haven't seen the first one, fucking watch the first one.
Out of curiosity, what do you rate the first one?
That is probably an 8, but I definitely got to watch it again. Okay. I would definitely give that an 8.
No worries, it's on the cock. You can watch it there.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely watch it on the cock for sure.
There you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Luke Walters. That is Dreaded. That is Anthony Sturdivant, my guy. Yeah, this was fun. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Of course.
And
I was so ready to talk about this movie.
And thank you for hanging out. And yeah, if you don't like what we had to say, too bad. But you should go check these movies out because they're really, really good. Everybody have a good night. Don't forget the popcorn. Follow us on Instagram, X, Blue Sky, Facebook, all the things. Stay tuned. We're going to announce what we're going to do next week. And yeah, get ready to come hang out with us again and see what we review next. Have a good night.
If you forget that popcorn, the grabber's coming for you and you'll sleep.
And now you will get the actual ending. Good night, everybody.
Later.